I'm Nick Sorrentino for libertyandeconomics.com and Liberty and Economics Review. So it's been a weird couple of days, and the greatest expansion of the state in my lifetime basically was initiated by the House last night when they voted through the healthcare reform bill. It'll now go to the Senate, and then it'll go to the President, and he'll sign it into law. And for those of us who believe in a small state and shrinking the state, this is a blow, frankly. We need to recognize that. And we need to think about how this happened. A couple of points. We went out there, made our voices heard, went out in the streets. We need to continue that. We need to take it. We need to make our voices even more heard now. Because all of that protest, all of that anger was completely tossed aside, very callously, by the president and by Congress. So, the way they just, the way essentially the media has treated the Tea Partiers, which frankly, sometimes I've got real issues with some of these guys. There are a lot of social conservatives in there. But they're often dismissed. First off, they're barely tolerated. And then they're always dismissed as like these kind of backward, people who cling to these quaint notions of liberty and freedom. By the way, it's real fun. Like, get into a debate with somebody who's an abashed socialist. Talk about freedom. I've gotten into a few of these debates, and they always, when I say, I believe in freedom and liberty, and they say, often, at least more than one occasion, I've gotten a, reply back. It's like, you can take your freedom and, go where you take it somewhere else, or take it some way. So you get my point. Anyway, the point was that they always spelled freedom FREEDUMB. And I think that spirit runs through people who are on what we call the American left. They truly believe that the individual is a quaint notion for another era, and that the state needs to regulate everything. Freedom. It's nothing but that's just something that these stupid hicks call out and scream about. I mean, don't they get it? Why would they be against expanding healthcare for people? I mean, well, the reason why they're against it is because they believe that the expansion of the state is even worse than the fact that these people don't have health care. And the fact that these people don't have health care is largely because the state has expanded into the healthcare system to begin with and created all these bizarre anomalies in the marketplace. But that's another issue. So now we're going to be, the initial taxes are on people who supposedly make over $250,000 a year. Now I squeak in just under that. That was a joke. But there's no way that they can fund this thing without taxing the middle class, and they will. And the thing is, I saw Governor Kane on, the head of the DNC now, my former governor, I'm ashamed to say. And, he said it best. He's like, yeah, let the Republicans run against this thing. They know that once they get it in, you can't ever get rid of it. You can't get rid of Social Security. You can't get rid of these programs. Once they're in it and people make economic decisions based upon them, they're hooked. And the Democrats know this. It's not just the Democrats. I mean, I hate the whole Democrat Republican nonsense anyway. I mean, this is complete and utter BS, okay? Like, we need to get beyond that. But again, that's another topic. So, between now and the coming election, um, those who believe in a smaller state, conservatives and libertarians alike, need to get their act together. Need to be resolute like we've never been resolute before. And frankly, we need to fight. Now, we fight peacefully and we fight with ideas. And we respect people with differing opinions. But the Leviathan continues to march. It has been a relentless march. The government gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And, frankly, I know better than to do this. I had to run out and get some formula this evening. I turned on NPR. I often listen to NPR. And, some kid, obviously a Ron Paul kind of kid, called in and said, talked about, the cost of this thing and the impact on, future generations and so on and so on, and how he feared for his freedom. And his professor up at Boston University said, well, I don't see how this impacts your freedom at all. And that's the thing. It's our freedom, our liberty is just taken away a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit with each passing year. And the government Leviathan grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and its tentacles reach into our lives subtly. Now, this time, it's jamming those tentacles right in there. You feel it, America? So maybe we'll wake up here and actually do something, and not slow the growth of the state, but actually begin the process of rolling it back. I mean, it's time to not play. It is, none of this George Bush compassionate conservatism nonsense. It is time to roll back the state, and we need to be clear. Don't hem and haw about it. Okay, when we're talking, when we're debating, look, we want a smaller government. We want to end a lot of these programs. It is inappropriate, and it is not good for the American people to have this dependency. And we need to be true, and again, we need to be resolute. And don't shrink from your convictions. Be respectful always. Remember, one needs to be respectful of people, especially when one disagrees with someone. Civility is key. But what's far more important is that we, going forward, focus in a way that perhaps we haven't focused before. Or else we're just going to see the state expand. And it will expand so much that we won't be able to do anything about it at all. We won't even probably be able to speak against it. So, if that's what you want, do nothing. I, for one, am going to continue to speak out and do the best I can to set a good example. Till next time.